Jah knows the truth, back with another one. And today we're going to be covering, is Elon Musk the Antichrist or a possible Antichrist? Because there's apparently many. And it starts with this tweet he recently tweeted, "I'm okay with going to hell." It's just a very odd choice, if you're going to die, why would you choose that destination? What have you done? And it's time to really look under the hood of who this guy really is. I mean, he's clearly controlled opposition. He has the Tesla, SpaceX, this Neuralink thing. And if you look into his personal life, it's very strange, and you could call it satanic or whatever you want to call it, because I'm not a Christian, but I learned early on in the looking into this truth, you definitely want to be on the righteous path of anything, whether it's positive, negative, good, bad, good over evil, God over Satan. It's the same thing. And they're running the stage show right now. So it's kind of like you pick Republican, Democrat, God, Satan. And these people in power of this material world clearly choose the latter. So yeah, from the tweet to the odd behavior to his robotic personality to his choice of spouse even. We're going to break that down, and also a brief breakdown on what the Antichrist is. It's basically the opposite of Jesus. And he's going to come along as a likable figure, seeming to solve all the world's problems, but in the end, he'll denounce God and righteousness, and he'll deceive and backstab everyone. But according to, what they write, because it's interpreted so many different ways, because the Bible's been written in so many languages, and there's so many versions and so many interpretations, but most say he's the opposite of Christ. He's a trickster, a tyrant, and most people are tricked by the corporations because they're like entities. They're doing all these dirty things to provide you a product you might like. But behind the scenes, it's a dirty process. And so you have SpaceX, Neuralink, Tesla. There's bad to all of those things. And not only that, they're lying to you about these companies. SpaceX, they're not going to space. They're getting all this funding to lie to you. But the good news is this figure dies in the end. And there's been many iterations of this figure. Some say the main one is Bill Gates, I would say, but they say Trump came along as one, riling up a certain crowd, but the other side made it seem like he was the quote unquote devil. That's part of the stage show. Then there was the other one, Obama, who, I was more on the side of when I was under the program, the liberal program, but he kind of did the same thing, and he brought in the LGBT agenda. And he has a dark history, which I've posted a lot of content on if you check out my Politicians Exposed playlist. But Bill Gates is probably the main one. I mean, he's tied to eugenics, computers, farmland, GMO food, this whole software update shot now. He's part of all of it. And you can also see he's part of another agenda, the replacement agenda and the transformer agenda. I mean, you don't have to be too deep in this truth to see what you're seeing. I mean, you see a switcheroo, plain as day. But first off, I'm going to break down a bunch of different things relating to Elon Musk and the Antichrist, but I'm going to have some experts kind of break it down first.
What will the Antichrist be like? This is the Antichrist of Revelation, okay? This is the beast is what he's called in Revelation. What will he be like? Number one, he'll be social. Social. Eloquent and winsome. Eloquent and winsome. You'll notice I've highlighted letters through each one that spell the word evil. He will be eloquent and winsome. Number two, he'll be moral, but he'll be a complete deceiver. Ruthless to the core. But people say, oh, we need him. Oh, he's great. Oh, he's the one for us. Oh, we really need this. Look at all this stuff. Because number three, he's going to be political. He's going to be masterful at bringing peace. He's going to establish He's going to establish a treaty with Israel. He's going to break that treaty with Israel, and he's going to be masterfully political at bringing peace. And everybody's going to go, wow, the peace we couldn't get, he did it. Wow, he's amazing. And then fourth, it's going to lead to being spiritual. He hates God, and he desires worship. It's what's called in the book of Daniel the abomination of desolation. He is going to set himself up in the new temple that is built in Jerusalem, and he's going to command worship. How in the world will people worship him? Come on, catch a clue. Why would you do that? Because it's going to be so winsome. It's going to be so morally looking good. It's going to be such a minister of peace, not a minister of the gospel, but administering peace that's going to come. That he's going to say, rise up and worship, and the whole world's going to turn and is going to worship him. And that's going to happen during this time that's called the tribulation.
Moon's Rising is the book. He is our guest all this month on 100 Huntley Street. We are deep in the weeds of prophecy, but there's nothing that's boring about it. We left last time talking about the Antichrist. What's the Bible tell us the Antichrist is going to be like, or what are the characteristics? You mentioned last segment that he's described as the little horn. So someone right now that's not very well known, if indeed this is the era in which the Antichrist is about to rise. But what are some other clearer definitions of the Antichrist?
Well, the Antichrist, I think, is going to rise from this reunited Roman Empire. Again, we don't know what country for sure he's coming from, but we know he's going to come out of this reunited Roman Empire. I think he's going to be a Gentile. The early church believed he was going to be a Jew. Many of them did, but he rises up in Revelation 13 out of the sea, which speaks of the sea of nations. The only type or foreshadow of the Antichrist in the Bible was a man named Antiochus Epiphanes back in the book of Daniel, and he was a Gentile. And also the Antichrist is going to lead the final form of Gentile world power, and he's going to be a great persecutor of the Jewish people, which seems odd to me if he's a Jew for him to be persecuting the Jews.
Great point.
So I think he's going to be a Gentile. He's going to be someone, though, who's going to come on the scene as a great peacemaker. And you think about, what does the world want today more than anything else? Someone who can bring peace to the world, peace and prosperity. And that's going to be his platform and his promise. And he's going to do that for some period of time, but at some point in time, the iron fist inside the velvet glove is going to be unveiled. And he will be the most iron-fisted, egomaniacal leader the world has ever seen.
And Mark, you can see the way the world is today with instantaneous communication, how very quickly news can spread and power can be established and influence can be made just because of media platforms.
That's right. The globalism we see today is setting the stage for him to come on the scene, and the technology that's available today, because the technology available today allows someone to keep track of where people are and to know what people are doing. So all these things we see coming together really fit what the Bible says about a coming world ruler who's going to come on the scene.
More about the Antichrist.
So there you go. A brief description on the Antichrist from two different views, because if you look around, you're going to get a different view from each person. But just a brief breakdown, but look at his mate. That's what we're going to focus on here. Look at his mate, Grimes, a Canadian musician. Clearly got some satanic motivations going on, some inspirations, musings from the other side, and you can see the upside down cross right on her arm. And when you look, you'll see a lot of people try and say, no, it doesn't symbolize the Antichrist, but others say that's exactly what it symbolizes. Clear as day, right on her arm. Now, you're a tech billionaire, all these ideas, all this money, and you're dating and impregnating this. It's very alarming. It's very strange. Not to mention the robotic behavior of this guy. I mean, when he was on Joe Rogan, I was actually interested to see what he was talking about, but I came away from him being like, this guy's weird. How does he not know what weed is? He literally asked what a blunt was. Like, come on, man, where you been? So the symbolism on this girl's arm just alone is a dead giveaway. I mean, it's clearly one of the signs of the Antichrist, atheism even, or just being a Satanist. And look at her, and look at this couple. I mean, look at Elon Musk. He didn't even create Tesla. He stole the ideas. Just like Neuralink, he's stealing the ideas. And then SpaceX is a complete fraud. Now, not to mention, I'm not sure if this woman right here, or whatever you want to call her, could even have children. That's another story. But look at this. Now, we're here focusing on, is this person possibly the Antichrist? Or could they bring into the world Antichrist, or whatever you want to say? Look at this woman. I mean, it's pretty suspect. So I think people that might be fans of him don't even really realize what's going on with this guy behind the scenes. I mean, he's basically impregnating a witch. I don't know if they're married or dating still, but I heard a rumor that they're broken up. And that's a whole nother story. But this was just to highlight his mate. Like, a tech billionaire seemingly to be leading the cause and trying to take into the truther movement even. This is his mate. It's looking pretty satanic, Elon. I can't lie.
Say goodbye to X-Ash A12. Yup, Elon Musk and Grimes have already switched up their baby's name. Apparently, the name doesn't comply with California state laws, so the couple had to alter it. But if you thought the name transformed into something a little more basic, think again. The baby, formerly known as X-Ash A12, will now go by X-Ash A12, A12 being in Roman numerals. Grimes confirmed the switch on Instagram, writing, "Roman numerals looks better, to be honest." She also added that one dash is allowed to remain in her son's name. According to the California state constitution, names can only use the 26 alphabetical characters of the English language. Also, using numbers is not allowed under those rules.
Babies are awesome.
They are pretty awesome.
They're awesome. Yeah.
Elon and Grimes welcomed their baby boy earlier this month. The Tesla founder went on Joe Rogan's podcast to explain the meaning behind their son's name.
My partner is the one that actually mostly came up with the name.
Congratulations to her.
Yeah, she's great at names. So, I mean, it's just X, the letter X, and then the AE is like pronounced Ash. Yeah, and then A12. A12 is my contribution.
Oh, why A12?
Archangel 12, the precursor to the SR-71, coolest plane ever.
So, according to the proud father, the name is pronounced X-Ash Archangel 12. However, Grimes wrote on Twitter that it's just X, like the letter X, then AI, like how you said the letter A, then I. Regardless of how you pronounce the name, Grimes and Elon are parents to a little cutie.
So yeah, here's another level. Very strange baby names. You saw the first one, XA21. Now you have Exadark Side Rail Musk. More and more evidence that this guy, whether he's the Antichrist or not, he's a very strange individual, and he's with another strange individual, but it looks like they have broken up or something. I don't know the current biz, but she's apparently dating a transformer, up clear as day, and you don't gotta be worried about what people think. It is what it is, because they're a strong group and they'll have you thinking the truth isn't reality. But yeah, that's a transformer, and that's possibly Elon's ex's new mate. So there's more evidence. Elon Musk is helping to build a surveillance state around us and has a major role in a technocratic takeover while also tweeting about freedom. And the masses are eating it up. This is called controlled opposition. See what I'm saying? He's warning of AI, but then he's selling AI. AI is far more dangerous than nukes. But now he's trying to put AI directly in your brain. See the double talk? With artificial intelligence, we are summoning the demon. The demon, he says. The beast. It's pretty evident what's going on here.
Do you think there is other intelligent life outside the Earth?
This is one of the great questions in physics and philosophy, where are the aliens? Maybe they're among us, I don't know.
But you must understand there's not a whole lot of human beings like you. You know that, right? When I watch you doing all these things, I'm like, how does this have all this time and all this energy and all these ideas, and then people just let him do these things?
Because I'm an alien.
That's what I've speculated.
Yes. It's kind of like a Fitbit in your skull with tiny wires. Yeah, no wires. You could upload, you could basically store your memories, and ultimately you could potentially download them into a new body. The future is going to be weird.
Connected to the World Wide Web at all times. That's really what Neuralink is trying to do. So, like, how do you feel about that goal? Part. Are you scared of the goal?
Being able to, being able to connect, like they're putting these chips in people. Well, they want to put them in people's brains eventually, right? And then have them be able to control appliances and all this stuff just by their thoughts, right? Yeah. But then they're using Bluetooth and they're connected to the internet, I guess, right? Mm-hmm. Which that means anyone can have access to someone's thoughts.
Yeah, that's.
You can hear about the activities of companies such as Tesla and SpaceX, funded by Elon Musk almost every day. But one project you don't hear about much is Neuralink, which is set to enable the connection of the human brain and artificial intelligence in the future, directly linking thoughts to a phone via Bluetooth. It's not cyberpunk, it's Neuralink, and it's coming to fruition quicker than most people think. And they've already begun testing on animals, with success. In short, it's said to be based on an electronic device implanted into the brain. Musk said on Twitter that the machine will likely perform the chip mounting operation as efficiently as LASIK laser vision correction does. What could possibly go wrong? Well, make sure to stay until the end, as you don't want to miss the government scrutiny that Neuralink is facing and security implications. While there was some criticism from experts about the time perspective of starting human testing, once the chip has been implanted, the observation of its functionality over a long time is crucial. So, what they really mean is that once a patient has been microchipped, the device will stay with them for the rest of their life. The method of installing the implant chosen by Neuralink is pretty invasive too. Bin He is a lead biomedical engineer at Carnegie Mellon University and indicated a high risk of damage to the brain associated with the insertion of wires into it, regardless of their size. Back in 2019, Dr. Riley Green of Imperial College of London said the idea of having brain surgery on a healthy person's brain was worrying. The government experts asserted that surgery to insert a device into the brain is extremely risky. Any brain operations are a necessity, and they're done to improve the patient's health. They went further than this and criticized Neuralink as doing it for fun is not a wise idea. Of course, using thread-like wires will lower the risk. Nevertheless, the company is struggling with a few vital elements. There's the problem of finding an appropriate coating. What about the longevity of the electrodes in your brain? Once they're in, you don't want to replace them every 10 years or so. The above are kind of technical issues. What about the more sci-fi stuff, like taking control over people's minds? The Fast Company magazine wrote about the ethical side of creating cyborg nations. Concerns about losing control over your emotions and thoughts were discussed at the European Festival of Innovation. Suppose powerful institutions grow into monoliths of AI. In that case, there will be a risk of creating armies of bionic people with superhuman abilities and heightened senses that regular people won't be able to compete with. Because if this happens, I'm sure there will be people who want to get their hands on this kind of advancement. People have expressed concerns that by developing the AI and discipline of cyborgs, corporations neglect aspects of humanity such as compassion, creativity, and spirituality. There will be little regard for holistic thinking, taking into account how they change people. The problem is that there should be a balance between scientific investment in the development of artificial intelligence, but also ordinary human consciousness to better understand it and care for it. Could a microchipped brain have thoughts that you don't have because it has functions that you just don't have access to? With body enhancement and playing with brain or mind expansion, we could also increase the number of thoughts. So if creativity relates to thoughts and ideas born in your brain, if you have a higher thought throughput, you're likely to be more ingenious than someone with a lower thought bandwidth, right?
Thank you for watching. Let's dive right in here. An animal rights group has levied a legal challenge to Elon Musk's Neuralink, accusing the neurotechnology company of causing monkeys, quote, extreme suffering after implanting experimental brain chips in the animals. According to the Physicians Committee for Responsible Medicine, of the 23 monkeys involved in Neuralink's research, which ran from 2017 to 2020, at least 15 of them died or were euthanized. One monkey was found allegedly missing its fingers and toes due to suspected self-mutilation, while another died of a bacterial infection after it had holes drilled into its skull. Neuralink has confirmed some monkeys have died during experiments, but denied charges of abuse.
This alleged case of animal cruelty has reinvigorated debates surrounding the morality of conducting scientific research on animal subjects. In October of 2021, Dr. Anthony Fauci faced substantial criticism after the White Coat Waste Project accused the National Institute of Allergies and Infectious Diseases of funding research that involved forcibly infecting beagles with parasites. However, as one Twitter user pointed out, Musk makes Fauci's dog torture look like horseplay. Weird pun.
Yeah. Let's not do it to horses either.
Yeah.
That.
Yeah.
We have Neuralinks working well in monkeys, and we're also doing just a lot of testing and just confirming that it's very safe and reliable, and that the Neuralink device can be removed safely. People may have seen the demo that we published earlier this year, the video of a monkey playing the video game Pong telepathically using the Neuralink in its brain, and it's completely wireless, charges inductively. But basically, the monkey looks completely normal, and yet is playing a video game telepathically.
So, Antichrist or not, I mean, this guy's into some negative stuff. I mean, it seems all good because you're under the spell of the entity, the corporate entity, but even the batteries for Teslas they're not good for their environment or humans. So to take a more practical approach looking at this as is he the Antichrist? It's hard to pinpoint because there's so many different versions, but he does fit a lot of descriptions. And more so than anything, it's like, why are people idol worshiping this guy? He's placed, he's controlled. He has too much power to not be, just like the rest. All the tax-free organizations and well, not tax-free, but the ones that don't want unions. These are these world leaders just because they have money. But at the end of the day, these are not your friends. These people will never help you. They'll give off the illusion they'll help. They'll do little token things like buy Twitter. What does that have to do with helping anything? So he'll waste all the money in the world on nonsense like this. And here's what I wanted to leave to the end. If you believe he really put a car in space, you are a fool. I'm sorry. We need to sit you at a special table. Because this is the type of tricks they run on society. Then they have us idol worshiping these people that trick us. They drain you of your energy and pay you time tokens, meanwhile taking taxes of your time tokens to provide you CGI images like this in hopes that you can go to space. You can't go to space. You don't even have to be a flat earther to know that. It's just not possible. Whether through their science, the Van Allen belt, or even in the Bible, the firmament, you're not leaving here. That's one of the biggest lies in this truth. The seeking of truth is where you are. And I've heard a lot of dumb or smart people sound very dumb trying to describe how we live on a spinning ball of water. So at the end of the day, is Elon Musk the Antichrist? Possibly, because they run a stage show on both sides. It's scripted. There's many resets. This has happened before. But all I will suggest is do not worship any of these people. Just watch and observe, and when they slip up, expose. Jah knows the truth. Out.